I wanted to pop this race out of here so that I could angle grind some of this vertical material away without worrying about damaging the race. But it seems to be stuck in there pretty well, and I only need to take off 1/4 inch from this height, which is less than this. So if I stay a little shy and then take it down gradually, I think it'll be all right. It still needs a little bit of material taken off here to bring it down below this height. And I could grind that off there, but I'm going to turn it in the lathe because it's more fun. But it's totally not necessary. A little more clearance might be nice, but it got the job done. We have a nice finish on here, and it's all deburred. It may not have been obvious, but the reason that I trimmed these studs was so that when the plate sits on here, they clear. Next up, we need to make our plate that's going to sit on here. We're going for 9 1/4 OD and then a 1 inch clearance hole for here. We also need to make a more official stand than this here. Turns out that 9 divided by 2 is actually 4.5. So we'll try this again. And as a double check, 10, 9 1/4, right on the money. Let's test fit our new components. I actually forgot about this washer that fits on there. Our nice wood piece, cleaned up the edges now. It's a little tricky to drop in there because it fits so tight, but there it is. That washer took up more of my depth. I might have to go away. This piece is 1/2 inch thick because I didn't have any quarter handy, but in any case, you get the idea. That doesn't move, but this does. In case you're curious about the run out of this rim, before I get too carried away making base plates and cutting more things, I thought it was important to sit here, have some think time, and really get a sense of what's going on. So now I have my fixed plate. I put some clamps on here to represent the arms just to give me a sense of rotation that you don't get from just the rim here. And to sit here and think about it. When I saw how tight the clearance was here at the bottom, it is clear, but not by much. I thought, oh, I've mounted it the wrong way around, not like I had it before, but now it's sitting down lower, and the web part in the center is actually in the middle, so it doesn't matter, it's exactly the same. By flipping it over, though, I did realize that I'd been putting these on backwards, so the taper part here nestles down more into this, and that actually helps because it just locates this a little bit more positively versus everything else. It's becoming clear to me as I spend more time planning this table that most of the basic strategies that I used worked pretty well, and I'm basically just going to be rearranging them a little bit, but using the same thing. So my confidence in their working is pretty high. This is a case where CAD comes in pretty useful. In general, I'm kind of a CAD skeptic. I've just seen too many things that look great in CAD and don't actually work. So I tend to lean really heavily on actually building it. But in a situation like this where I have my slider thing set up, which is not, this does not actually represent the real thing. I'll get to that in a second. But I know that the slider is going to work because I've already built it. So I can just put that into CAD and run with it and get me further ahead versus bolting up 8 of these and finding out that the spacing is wrong. So anyway, one of the things that I had to do was get the rim correct, and I'm trying to make it happen. So here's our rim. We've got the spindle underneath and all of that. And I want to make sure that these dimensions that I came up with are pretty close to reality. So I made some measurements and then I printed off a 1-to-1 drawing, trimmed that out with a blade. I'll put some, clips in here, and you can watch me compare it against it. So I know it's pretty accurate. And like I said, these sliders, I just designed them this way so that they would be super easy. And also I can set up the joints because I had to figure that out. But I'll get the real ones in here. The main thing here is to get the expansion ratios and the clearance in the arms and stuff like that. So let's see it in action. I can grab a hold of this, pull it, and we get our table action, which is pretty neat. Comes back into lock. And so what I'm really looking for in a lot of cases is behavior like this, where this arm is able to reach under this arm, and therefore it can go all the way to the point where it's about to bump the other one that's at its same level. And this is where I had the staggered levels before. So this is the sort of thing that I'm looking at. I'll set up this in here. I can get off the shelf CAD for the taper bearings and that sort of thing. But in summary, I've decided to embrace the 21st century, do a little bit of CAD, and help me plan some of these things and get ahead on just basic spacing and all of that. So I've thought quite a bit about the raising hub, and I have some ideas there, and we will get back to it next time. Thank you for watching.